Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today I have another guide for you for Age of Darkness Final Stand. And today we are talking about the living quarters in the game and how you can make the most gold out of them, because they are connected to your gold income, and that's the best way how you become very rich in this game. Why do I call them living quarters and not houses? Well, the answer is pretty simple: because they are houses in the game, and if we would use the terminology twice, it would become very confusing. So we'll refer to all the three buildings as living quarters, and then when I talk about the specific building, I would just call them by their name. It's as simple as that. So let's have a look at the living quarters, shall we? We have the dwellings, we have the lodge, and we have the house as the last upgrade. And you might think, okay, so this is pretty simple, right? I'm starting out with the dwellings. When I can upgrade them to a lodge, I will exactly do that. And then afterwards, I will upgrade them to a house, and this is how it goes. And the answer is wrong. That's not how it goes at all. If you do that, you will probably run into some resource issues, food issues, and also your gold income will be strangely handicapped. And I will explain why in just a few. But yes, you are starting out with the dwellings, and the most important part here is the food you are investing into one of the living quarters. Why? Because all the other resources, gold, wood, stone later on, they're regenerative resources. They regenerate over time. You're just getting them back. Whereas food is a static resource. You're not getting the food back once you invested it, well, till the building is destroyed or you destroy it. But you're not getting it back, and you have to build more farms over time to get more food. With the other resources, that's not really a problem. They will just regenerate. It's as simple as that. So the food cost is actually the resource we want to focus here on. And we are starting out with the dwelling, which costs you 4 food, gives you 4 villagers, and gives you 6 gold. And the gold, which is the important part here, would mean that per food invested, we would get 1.5 gold out of a dwelling. That's the number, 1.5 gold per food invested into a dwelling. Now, when we are looking at the lodge, where the food has already doubled, we are getting 2 more villagers, so we have 6 in total, and we get 18 gold. So the gold has nearly tripled here, and that would mean per food we are getting 2.25 gold out of it. So that is already a pretty good increase. Now let's talk about the houses. The houses need 16 food. You get 2 more villagers again, so that's a static number, the 2 plus, which makes it 8 villagers, and you get 30 gold. Wait, what? You probably already realized it. Wait a second. So I nearly triple the amount of gold with the lodge, but with a house, I'm not even double it. What's with that? Yeah, and well, you will also see that in the food invested into the house. So you are getting 1.875 gold per food invested into a house. So you are actually losing out gold per food invested if you are upgrading to a house. So what does that mean? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Build lodges. You want to build all the lodges in the world because they make you a lot of money, and they made you the right amount of money for the food invested. Okay, but when do I upgrade to a house, Mo? See, that is the good question. It really depends. I would even go so far, there will be situations and there will be games where you don't want to upgrade them to houses at all. Like normally I would say, yeah, you upgrade your lodge to a house when you are running out of space, right? You don't really have the room anymore to navigate, and you are just running out of space to build more lodges. Then you would upgrade them to a house because you just need more people and you have so much food that you don't really care for wasting food here. But the thing is, that time never seems to come because you can just use the whole map to build your houses. Like, look at how much room I have and how much I have already used. Like, it doesn't really matter. You have so much room to build more lodges that you don't really have to upgrade to a house right now. And the really interesting part here is that other than in their billions, you are not getting punished for building outside of your defenses, because even if enemies are destroying a building, it's not like they are billions that there are more enemies spawning in those buildings. They're just getting destroyed, and that's it. So worst case scenario, you have to rebuild it after like a lone monster is destroying some of your houses. Like, that's the worst case scenario, and that's not really bad at all. It's not punishment. It's just like a small inconvenience. So the answer is pretty much, right now, I'm not really sure when to build a house. Like, that's just how it is. I have no clue when the right point would be in the game that you need the house. Like, even if you are on the last wave and you just have some mass amount of resources you don't need, which, let's be honest here, you always need resources, you could upgrade them to houses. But especially also because units later on take also food and not just people, there's always like a better way to utilize your food instead of upgrading your lodges into houses. It's as simple as that. So honestly, is there a time when you have to upgrade your houses? Only if you ever run out of space. And well, you see how much room I have here on the map. I don't think I will ever run out of space where I could just build houses. And because I don't have to fear that they are turning into like big zombie hordes, I can just build them, and when they're getting destroyed, they're getting destroyed. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, with that said, how do you make the most money? Well, you already got a tip, right? The lodge is making you the most money per invested food, which is 2.25 gold, and just build tons of lodges. But there are, of course, some other ways how you can make some more money. Let's talk about that. The second way on how you can make money is get gold mines. You can see right here that I have like this huge gold mine, and lucky me, this would give me a lot of resources. Like, even the normal quarry would already give me 662 extra gold. And you might say, wait, well, yeah, cool, but that is a huge like gold ore thingy out in the wild, and not everyone has that. Yeah, that's correct, but even like the small ones, like this one here, is giving you 147 gold. That's a lot. That is a lot. So find those gold ores and get them. Like, you really, 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 really want them. So find them on the map, make them your own, and start digging, because you need that gold. But that's of course not all. That's like the obvious tip. Let's talk about the thing which might not be too obvious. Let's talk about the storehouse. The storehouse is increasing the maximum resource cap and allowing for larger stockpiles. Duh. But it also increases the efficiency of nearby resource gatherers. And the first thing you might think is, wait, houses are not resource gatherers. Or, well, living quarters. Living quarters are not resource gatherers, right? No, they are. Weirdly enough, they are. Farms do not work. They are not resource gatherers. But houses are actually resource gatherers. Yes, I know they don't have a bar which is filling up, but they're basically transferring the money they make to your fort, and this is where the resources gathered. You don't have to build any storehouses around your keep. Like in an old build, it could actually increase the amount of money you could make in there. But they have fixed that, so don't even try. You can still see it here a little bit. I have actually utilized it for a little bit because it was quite fun and broken, but it doesn't work anymore. In the newest patch, they have completely fixed that. But it still works with houses because, as you know, a normal house, or well, a dwelling, is making 6 gold. As you can see, I'm already confusing you with using the term house, but whatever. But you can see normally a dwelling makes only 6 gold. In this case, it's 12. Oh wow, so that means a storehouse is doubling the amount of money it makes? Kinda, because it's not really doubling, it's adding. It's adding the same amount of resources you are gathering in a house. And that brings us to the next point. Yes, the more storehouses you have nearby, you can actually add another gold regeneration on top of it. So one storehouse is increasing the gold from 6 to 12. A second storehouse is increasing the gold to 18 because it's plus 6. It's not doubling, right? It's adding the amount of gold. And the same is true for the lodge, and the same is true for the house. So the normal house is worth 30 gold, and now it's 90 because I have 2 storehouses here. And that also answers, hopefully, the question how long the range is of the storehouses. And it's basically like 2 living quarters around the storehouse, and you still get the buff. Like you can see it right here. This one is also still getting the 12 gold. So building 2 rows of living quarters, lodges, just use lodges, around the storehouse will maximize your gold income. Of course, with that said, you can see that this takes up a lot of room. So you need a lot of room to make it happen. And you might now ask, but Mo, is that really worth it? Like, the storehouse is basically 4x4 dwellings you are taking up. And the answer is yes. Yes. Even if you would lose out on 4 houses, it would still make it so much more worthwhile. Like the amount of money you are getting out of this when you are building a storehouse and then you are building 1 row, even 1 row would already make it worthwhile. If you can build 2 rows around it and even have another storehouse nearby, well then congratulations, jackpot. But even just 1 row around the storehouse makes it so much worthwhile. Because again, just this is adding 6 gold to a dwelling, right? So that you have 12. If you are missing out on 4 houses, well, that's still close because you would miss out on 20 gold. But again, this is so much more worthwhile. It's like, it gets pretty close. But again, like 4 houses cannot make up for a whole storehouse and a whole row of houses, or well, living quarters around the storehouse. It's as simple as that. So build storehouses and build living quarters around it. Upgrade them to lodges, not to houses. Houses are not worth it. Lodges is more than enough. And let the gold flow. That's how you make a lot of gold in this game. And don't be afraid of like one monster. This one is actually, by the way, bugged. But don't be afraid of a monster getting close to your houses and destroy them. They do not spawn more monsters. With that said, I hope I could help you a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you're on your way out, I would appreciate if you leave a like. If you didn't like this video for whatever reason, well, there's a dislike button right next to it. And if you're new to the channel, you want to see more Age of Darkness videos, tips and tricks, and gaming news videos, reaction videos to some big gaming events, and thoughts about the gaming industry, then I would appreciate if you also might consider to subscribe to the channel. It would help me out a big time. And if you do so, please don't forget to click on the bell icon, because if you don't do that, then YouTube will never ever inform you again when I uploaded a video. It's like, yeah, I subscribe to a channel, but I will not tell you that a new video is up, which is like, wait, what? YouTube thinks. Don't ask, just let it happen. But yeah, please don't forget to click on the bell icon if you should consider to subscribe to it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.